Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So bring your attention to your bell sound, this bell sound, and following this sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, we'll take few minutes to understand ourselves, how this practice can help for us. So, practicing meditation, the very purpose of this meditation is purification, that to bring the purification to ourselves. And at the same time, through that purification, we cultivate our awareness. So when it comes to cultivation, if I bring a simile, it's same kind of like you planting a tree and you cultivate a tree. So you can't interfere with it, but still you can provide the necessary facilities and allow it to grow itself. So when it comes to mental practice, the same. This is not something you go and get. This is not something you put a goal and somehow you're going to achieve. This is more different than that all. So this mostly by practicing and taking time, understanding and developing yourself and developing the trust and confidence with your own mind and developing the clarity, you gain the result. It's not someone else from outside going to provide anything, or you don't look for any validations time to time and nor need any kind of authorizations. And at the same time, there is nothing that someone going to initiate you by the time. So this is the process that you allow yourself to grow And at the same time, you develop the practice day by day, day by day, day by day for your own good. So when it comes to our life, so whatever the things happen to ourselves, we have to look into us and understand it mainly happened because of our own thoughts, not because of somebody else. Even though there are some other people, some other things around us, but the main cause, the main reason, the purpose came out of our own mind. So go into that and recognizing is totally different than achieving to something from outside goal. So that's why this go with more self-realization, that recognizing your own thoughts, understanding your own thoughts, and for your own good. So then you have to come to a point to be very, very clear within your own mind. So it's like this. Just imagine that you go to somebody and asking something for you. So maybe as monks, we go place to place, we have a begging bowl in our countries, in like Sri Lanka. So just imagine you have this bowl in front of your hand. So you're going to get some food. You're going to ask from person to person, maybe. You go out. So there is a possibility somebody will give you something. By the time, if you go, person to person, somebody will put something to this. And it is not that that you gain to this ball. So just imagine, how about the condition of this ball? If it is dirt, and from yesterday, after you ate, you didn't clean it, the bad smell, maybe very fresh food you receive, but if you don't take time to clean this, so whatever you receive, what will happen? And who going to eat it? So maybe somebody, cook very, very, fresh food but put it to this bowl, and then you eat. And then when you get sick, if you blame to that person, is it right? So it is your responsibility to clean this bowl. So it's a cleaning itself, it's a kind of like you appreciating, you respecting, and you have to have some kind of a skill. If you give this bowl to clean to 2-3 people, they do in different ways. Some people can't even just clean properly. So practicing meditation the same. It's a purifying your mind. And you have to understand you do it for your own good, not for somebody else. You do it for your own growth. You do it for your own cultivation. You do it for your own development. So then if you become very lazy, if you neglect something, if you have some left over, so whatever you receive, then what will happen to it? So then you can't blame to anybody. So when it comes to that, when you start to clean this, that's why you need the faith, ethics, moral, effort, practice, being patient. So this kind of everything you need when you in the process of cleaning. So this practicing meditation is like that. Cleaning ourselves, we bring the effort to clean. How we can clean it? There is a process. So when it comes to that, the very first important thing that you have to develop in your mind, that process called that recollection. So the recollection is kind of that you settle down with your mind. Why that you need the recollection ability? Because your mind everywhere. It's just not follow any kind of order. It's everywhere. And thought, sometimes in us, that thought itself doesn't follow any kind of discipline. So it arises itself sometimes, and we don't see the reasons. And sometimes you think about left, and then you can't guarantee that next time the next thought come about right. Maybe you think about left, and then suddenly you start to think about the color. Or maybe you start to think about the sky, and then the very next moment you start, there's a thought come regarding the sleeping. There is no any connection in between. So it everywhere for every direction. So the recollection will allow you to settle down. And the other thing is the recollection, there is another meaning. Then when it comes to recollect, so our ordinary nature, this conventional life, our mind everywhere always ponder, go towards something. So the recollection mean another way is withdrawing. Your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, withdrawing the desire of satisfaction. So it is you taking your responsibility, and it take towards you, settle down with you. And it is not you waiting for someone to give or go towards that way. It's like just imagine newly born baby, the mother hold the newly born baby. And sometimes that if the mother need the rest, or maybe if the mother waiting for the father or someone to give the child, it is totally different. But how about the mother doesn't have that kind of intention? The mother has intention to hold the child, the whole nerve system, the entire body, entire mind, that everything harness with the child. So the recollection means the same kind of like with your in the deeper, with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, you don't look anything from outside, you withdraw everything and settle down yourself. Why you do it? For your own good, to purify yourself, not for anything else. So, and in day-to-day life, if you develop this skill, because mostly in our conventional life, ordinary life, we always throw the reasons to others, because of you, because of that. So when you develop this recollection nature, what happens? You start to withdraw yourself. And then that you don't try to throw any blame to anybody. So that brings itself in a very conventional life. It brings some kind of peace, harmony to any environment. So when it becomes deeper mental attitude with the practice, this meditation, and deeply it will help you to take you to deeper, more and more understand how this life happening with us. So when you have the ability to withdraw and settle down yourself, and then there is another ability come, it called introversion. So the introversion is that the ability you start to look inward, because our life from birth to now in this ordinary life, we used to look outside. So introversion is an ability you take time to look inward. You start to see your thought. That looking inwards means you start to recognize, see your own thoughts. And you start to settle down with the epicenter of the desires or the wanting. And you get into the core of this life, that means the thoughts. When you come to that moment, what happens? That you understanding this, the goldfish bowl anymore is not the ocean. So like that, you start to understand this body, this thoughts, this desire, these emotions, this wanting, and these things happen as a result of cause and conditions, and it's nothing to do with the person, that the personality, the idea of me. It not happen personally only for you. So as example, that whatever the environment or whatever the experience that you go through within 1 hour, and then after 1 hour, whatever the thoughts that came to you, and you put another person and go through the same kind of environment, and that person come from the same background, and that person go through the same environment, and then that person also get the same kind of thoughts. So that's the very nature of this all. So when it comes to recognize deeply yourself with this introversion, and then you start to understand, you start to see your own thoughts, and then you have ability to stay with it. Anymore, you don't have the desire to go out, and now you see the mind and you stay with the mind and recognizing it deeply, thoroughly, because you know now this is the place, this everything happens. And then you become very careful about your thoughts, because you know that maybe it come from somewhere else, maybe it come from very crazy background or the history from the environment, deeper in your heart, because it has a deeper and different way of behavior. And sometimes you become crazy, and sometimes you become very nice, sometimes you become very mad, sometimes you become very fussy, sometimes you become very nice, So kind of like this. So when the thoughts come, you recognize, you become very careful and recognize and analyze. So this process called that contemplation. You don't go anywhere, you into your own thoughts and recognizing deeply. And that recognition will help you to understand these thoughts, this body, these ideas, self-centered view anymore is not the self, and it will take you out of the boundary, which we call I am. And that is the ability you gain demarcation. So the demarcation is the otherwise we hold, oh, this body is me, or this is my ideas, or and I am a monk, and I do this, that, and so I from this place, so like that I have already set up history myself and interpreter always this is me. So when it comes to that deeper contemplation, what happened? You start to expand the boundary. Oh, anymore, this monk would not me. The place I born is not me. So these ideas that come to me is not me. And then anymore, that whatever the emotions or the experience that go through my life, and it is not me. So then your boundary line become difference. And then anymore, it is not this skin. And that is where you become more humble. You become more flexible. And that is where you have the more empathy. And that is where you become more kind of open. And that is where you gain the connection with others, the harness, rather than separation. So that ability allows you to break through. So the breakthrough means the sudden development, the change, irreversible. You're not going to go back. When you put a seed, when the plant come out, you can't put it back. So the same like when you have this understanding, you can't reverse it and go back to become the same person. So that is what the growth, and it happened. So you have to allow it to happen for your own good. Because then according to our own purification of the mind, condition of the mind, out of our perception, whatever we perceive, the quality of that perception can change. So same like that, the begging bowl, if it has any kind of leftover from yesterday, so whatever we receive, and it going to mix with that. So when you come through this experience, when the breakthrough happen, out of total development, then you 100% become purified. You become very clean, very fresh. And out of that deeper, that whatever with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and whatever you perceive, you're going to recognize things as it is. And no any leftover going to mix with it. That means mental formations not going to mix with it. Sanskara or cankers not going to mix with the perception. When the perception becomes very clear, and we call it direct perception. So when the direct perception happens, in between that, there is no gap to think and understand. So your experience itself become your understanding. Your experience itself become your wisdom. That is where you gain the total satisfaction, the rest, the peace, tranquility state, and the happiness. Because the moment of your life itself is complete, and out of that completion, you are satisfied. So then you don't look for life. Why? Because you're living. But look ourselves. We all waiting for something, look for something. We are planning to live. We are planning to live, and it's go day by day, there's no end. But we miss the whole life process. So that's why this process, this practice, day by day, little by little, step by step, will help you to allow that growth happens. So then you have to come to a very clear point to understand this is for your own good. And this is not you do it for somebody else. And when the growth happens, let it happen with the very fresh, very clear, brand new mindset. So you are responsible for that. So in the very beginning, that's why we get into this tranquility state, following our own inhalation, exhalation, and recognizing the sensation. And out of that sensation, you understand when the inhalation happens, this is inhalation. When the exhalation happens, this is exhalation. So don't interfere with it. Don't try to make anything happen. Just allow it to happen and just see. So develop the seeing part, observing part, recognizing, put the effort to that and make it more and more and more clear, and see when the inhalation, exhalation happens, how you recognize it. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck get straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture, please. So bring attention to your body and scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. So take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment you're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. Do nothing extra. Through the sensation, just recognize it. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhamma nu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjisami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.